Hello, everyone. This is Chala Dincoy, CEO and founder of The Repositioning Expert, coming to you live on YouTube and not so live on podcast with another edition of my crazy podcast called Naked Marketing. Now, my guest, Keis, Car Keys, as he said to call him, which I love because now I can't forget it. He is dressed very nicely, and so but what he is going to get naked about is his confessions, being a self-confessed non-marketer. He's going to give us his version of the marketing mistakes that he's made in his career, in his business. So welcome, Ken.
Well, thanks for having us on. It's a pleasure to be able to serve.
Yeah, thank you. And tell me, who is it that you help specifically and with what problem?
Well, we have three words that we use to describe what do we do. We work in the human capital space, and we help people to do three things: help to improve their self-awareness, that leads to self-management, that leads to self-mastery. And we serve all the professionals that serve the people side of their business. So internal HR consultants, trainers, change management, external coaches, seminar companies, they partner with us on all our IP that we've developed over the last 41 years now. So the company was founded in 1979, and we serve them with assessments, a curriculum, and online courses to really develop the whole person, from leadership to wellness and everything in between.
My God, you said a lot there. I'm going to break it down. Now, for 41 years, has this been your baby, or is this?
It was founded by Dr. Anderson in 1979, and I've been connected to the company since 1990. And then I liked the company so much that I bought it 20 years ago.
Wow.
So I've been the sole owner of it since that time, and then just delved into all the content and reauthored and repurposed 4 million words of content in that time.
So what did you do before? Were you a corporate manager yourself?
Oh, well, I grew up on a dairy farm. Hey, that's very close to that. Had my own dairy farm. I then actually was a sales rep. And so I went from being a professional, number one performer in a national company, to starting my own sales training company. Got connected to CRG at that same time, started to use some of their psychological tools and assessments in our sales and leadership training. Then actually had the sole source contract with another partner for doing all the training, the people side for Chrysler. And then a little event, and I don't say little event, happened on 9/11. And so our multiple seven-figure training contract was canceled the next week. So, however, the good side of this, when we talk about life, is I went from being on the road 300 days a year for 7 years to being home. So I changed my mindset from being a speaker who writes to an author who speaks. Wow. So then I bought CRG. I was connected to, the company as one of their number one associates or distributors, using the tools and resources to serve our clients. And I said, listen, now I can set it up here. And then over the last 20 years, ported from being just a publishing company, producing this in print, to creating an entire online digital dashboard for people to be able to connect in multiple languages, multiple countries, all around the world.
So now that you've been through that, 9/11 and things changed so much for you, did you have to pivot again during the pandemic, or were you already set up for that?
We were in the middle of it. We're still continuing to move towards it. We're already starting to build out online courses. We had already built out an API for our assessment center. What's interesting, though, is a lot of our partners and distributors weren't ready. So we did take a significant hit, because a lot of our partners would do live training, including very large corporations that would use our assessments offline and then bring them together into a seminar room to be able to kind of debrief. So we had 2 or 3 of our top performers have done nothing in 18 months. Wow. So now they'll probably restart. But we were moving towards that. Now, maybe we're accelerating our partnerships where we're now site licensing our online courses. So we built those, there's in this space is Storyline and Articulate, and also Adobe has a program as well. So now we're site licensing our courses to different organizations around the world, both internal and external, to be able to serve their members so they can go to the next level.
So it sounds like not only do you curate the content of the training, but you're also some sort of matchmaker broker for, trainers, to hire trainers to then go out and deliver your stuff to corporations that you engage. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, with a small adjustment, trainers and independent consultants access our tools to serve their clients. We don't get them the clients, though we used to do that when we had old contracts, but now we really focus on creating an infrastructure to be able to serve those people who serve the end user, either internally or externally. So it doesn't matter to us. We'll serve the client directly if they're, even if they're smaller. Our tools do not require certification. Many of the other tools do. So you can be a 15-year-old, go onto our site, take the self-worth inventory, take the values, take the personality assessment, and then be able to grow yourself, or work with a coach or organizations where the training manager will build a whole curriculum around it, or a wellness program with our stress indicator and health planner. So with that kind of diversity, we really serve multiple different directions, but we really are there to serve you, the professional, to serve your people internally, or if you're an external consultant.
I got you. So that's why you were saying that your target is either the internal HR consultant or the external coach, trainer, consultant. And so let me ask you this. Is there, because I'm a marketing girl, and one of the biggest things that I teach is about niching. So what is the industry, if you could dream, that you would double your business in? Like, what is that industry that would do it for you?
Well, for us, it's the professional development vertical. So I can't say it out loud. We had a contract with a very large seminar company, the second largest in the world.
Yeah.
And the VP retired. A new VP came in and just had a friend or a buddy that was a competitor to us and removed us. So they had 300 full-time trainers around the world. They were doing millions of dollars worth of business, and they had integrated our tools and resources into their solutions. So we really were serving them, and then they were serving all the executive training. They were doing the leadership training all around the world. So it's partnering with with organizations that have scale already, that already have connections. And so when you think about this concept of affiliate or joint ventures or partnering, that's where it's at. For us as a smaller firm, we're not the John Wiley and Sons that has $1.8 billion to be able to go spend on marketing. We really want to connect. And we were talking earlier about Aaron Walker being on your show. So Aaron has all these mastermind groups. And so we're in discussions, and I can't be ahead of the game because it's nothing signed. I said, Aaron, how can these tools serve your 2,000 members? So that Aaron would be a kind of organization that we'd be able to connect with, and then that would leverage back into his organization to serve them.
So from a marketing lens, it seems like a very different message to and marketing plan and positioning to internal versus external trainers. How do you manage that?
It's not always that well. I admitted to you, personal professional development is my wheelhouse. My purpose is to help others to live, lead, and work on purpose. Marketing, even though I understand it, and I was VP of marketing of the firm, this is not something that we have executed well. So I agree with you, is that the end result, meaning the professionals, in terms of what we train and what we say to them, is basically identical, except for the business development side, meaning how can you add this to your business to serve your clients? That's the additional module for those. So keeping it separate, yes, you're right. And we're just really getting better at it now. And also, as you've articulated too, it says, how can we target these organizations with scale that have scale that we can partner with? And we don't need a lot of them. We just, if we had 10 partners that are doing $1 million a year with us, well, then that's a pretty good deal. And it's interesting. Our largest partners in history have always been the least amount of maintenance. We've had these little clients who buy like $100 a year, and they're just drama city. You've seen this where, one of my mentors was Alan Weiss, and he said, you need to fire some clients on an ongoing basis if they don't fit where you're growing to, but also if they're high maintenance.
Yeah, I agree. Totally on board with that one. So tell me about, let's get to the mistake. I'm really curious. And I saw already what you wrote, but tell our viewers and listeners what the most expensive and worst marketing mistake was that you made in the decades-long marketing that you've been doing.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with, there's a lot of people who claim that they're marketers, And because, not that I'm disinterested, and I will admit this is, and this is my encouragement to business owners out there. I probably didn't do the due diligence, or I just accepted the fact of what they said was true and just didn't vet it. I would never hire an employee without checking, all the testimonials or references or whatever the case might be. But I've probably done that with marketing firms where we hired them. They made all these promises and they delivered no ROI. And I'd say if there was the greatest regret in my business over the last 20 years of owning this one for sure, is really around, and it was more than once, 2 or 3 times where people have made these promises that they could deliver this, and then they didn't. And so I would just say that I didn't vet it enough. I wasn't paying attention to it enough. Not that I was disinterested, but I wasn't passionate about that space in the company. And I would say the best thing that I ever did is I hired just an amazing internal director of marketing. And then somebody came and offered her triple what I was paying her. Well, I couldn't compete, and off she went. So that was the best decision I ever went, where she really owned that space. I said, here's what I want to have happen. So what we have recently done is we've done that same thing with an external consultant, where they're basically going to be, and they are our CMO. So that I'm outside of this and says, listen, just own this. I'm very good at writing books around leadership and development and personality, but this marketing side drains me. And I think that's one of the other things that I teach entrepreneurs is we need to play to our strengths. So a lot of times people fail in the marketing side because it's not your passion. Doesn't mean that, so I was remiss in not paying attention to it and maybe just acquiescing and just being way too easy on the contracts. But you need to have somebody who is passionate, like yourself, who's an expert, who's amazing, that then can take ownership of that space and then also really produce the ROI. Anyways, that's our experience.
That is really great. Thank you for sharing that. Now, at the risk of, exposing what you're doing, what this show is all about, it's called Naked. Do you want to give us some of the ways that your new CMO is able to bring in new business or is doing the marketing to bring new business?
What they're doing is they're putting together entire templates done for you kind of environments or pieces for all our partners. So we have a partner in South Africa. And so they created the landing page. It created all the emails. They created all the trigger points. And then we created an online masterclass that they then co-marketed with another agency down in South Africa together. So basically, we are taking away all the barriers of our partners to be able to promote our partnership, because a lot of them aren't able to do this as well. So once, of course, we've created that asset is there that can be adjusted and adapted for multiple different partners. We're also now moving into, and we know that podcasts, and I've had my own podcast for 5 years, 300 episodes, is that the majority of podcasts in the last 12 months have shifted to video. Well, mine was audio. So now we're doing video funnels, which through mostly, because we're B2B, mostly through LinkedIn. And so we're created the video funnels with the trigger, and then based on a certain problem or solution, then they have a subsequent video. So that we've used the app to be able to stream them down into a funnel to their issue and then be able to create an appointment. And then they're also using Sales Navigator or LinkedIn Navigator for that process as well. So they're putting that whole system together. It's a heavy lift to put all the little different pieces in, the auto calendars now so that people can link and book for you and see and have a meeting with you. So take away all those barriers and then target those organizations that are large enough to cut $100,000, $1 million checks with us or partner with us. And that's what their business will do downstream. And sure, we'll serve the person who bought a $25 assessment. We'll not be discriminatory against them. But we really want to focus our efforts towards the partners who are growing large organizations. So example is, I can't tell you who it is. We have a partner, we're just in sort of the middle stages. They got delayed because of things that happened as well. But they have 1.8 million members globally. Wow. And so they're partnering with us. We've already loading our programs on their site, and we're doing a rev share with our online training programs that they're now offering to their members. So we're just starting to scale that. Our CMO is putting together all this for the triggers, the social media for them. so that they can be successful in our partnership. And that's something I always wanted to do, but just really didn't have the capacity to do, is to help my partners be successful. And guess what? If they are, I am too.
Absolutely. So what I'm hearing is that the CMO, or what you have, the strategy you have in place, is mostly funnel, like online funnels that are then, navigating people through your content to then get them to book an appointment with you. But do you have any other type of outreach? So you don't have any sales reps, you don't have anyone calling on accounts, you don't have that kind of, active marketing. It's more like passive marketing.
I didn't, but I do now. So we did, and then we didn't. So long story, the person who worked with me for 30 years who did that passed away last year.
Oh my
and
God.
So we didn't replace her till basically a couple of months ago.
Wow.
So she knew so she was customer service, but she was a sales rep. Everybody knew her if there was something new that was going on. And there was always this connection, because 80 or 90% of our business has been referral, repeat business of some sort or another. We're really a community. We say, welcome to the CRG family when somebody becomes an associate. So from that point of view, we're just now switching back into it. And then of course we have Infusionsoft and, connecting back with our customers and our full database of all the people who have taken the assessments as well. So we need to be a little bit more proactive on that communications, but we're always emailing our list in terms of here's something new, here's some new things that are going on. So we are proactive within the context of our own context at the moment with all the things that are going on as well.
That sounds amazing. So Ken, do you have any parting advice for our listeners and our viewers about marketing?
I would just say for me, what I really needed to do is just release any kind of hesitation around any negativity about it, because you're going to bring that energy to marketing. That's going to happen. So just let that go. And then if you're not feeling comfortable, find the people who are passionate, who are good at it, and it might be a combination of 2 or 3 different individuals, meaning we have like 12 different contractors around us. So I have like an audio editor. I have a social media company that does all the podcast promotions. We have somebody who does an editor for the writing. So get the experts around you. Don't try to be everything to everybody. And then this of course applies to the marketing side as well. And to get the people that have a proven track record. And if you can get them on a performance-based percentage or something, then that's helpful too, that then they're both invested in it. And that's what we have with our current situation as well.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Now, how can people reach you, Ken?
Well, we have 2 sites. You can go to the main site for assessment. I'm going to give you a gift here in a second, crgleader.com, which is all the tools, the assessments, the online learning that you can go there. You can order like right now and take. And we're going to give you a free gift from my speaker site. So you go to Keis, KenKeis.com/reposition. I don't know where we got that word from. And you will be able to get a free download of my latest book, The Quest for Purpose. So it's a step-by-step process to get clear and connected about what are your purposes, your passions, your talents, your abilities, and what really energizes you in life.
That sounds wonderful. And thank you for the gift.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Ken. It was great to have you.